Hey, so greetings everybody. So welcome back. I have one more feature I want to try to implement to try to make this app complete. Is that I might want to try to leverage shared preferences here, right? So basically, what I want to try to do here is I want to try to compare. Um, I want to try to compare these two files here, but try to see if they're the same. But what if I change the initializer for this? They won't be the same, and then I delete someone's work. So we're going to try to leverage shared preferences, and we're going to try to see what that looks like, right? In order to update the database, in order to decide whether we should overwrite what's already there, right, or to update the update the database, right? So basically, right, essentially what I want to try to do is I want to try to connect to the database. I want to try to check the user. I want to try to check the shared preferences, right? I want to try to check for like an edited value, right? So if there's an edited value, right, essentially, what I want to do is I want to run the script. Basically, it's just going to update the database. But if there isn't, right, then essentially what I'm going to do is I want to do nothing. In the future, I want to be able to update the database accordingly, right, just in case the schema changes, but hopefully it doesn't have to come to that. Or hopefully I'll work on another app by then. Alright, let's try to take a look at it. Right, so in order to do that, right, we're going to say shared preferences. Oh, it looks like I have to add the library, right? So say go. That's mobile Flutter app, and then Flutter add the shared preferences. I could use the script, but this is kind of a one-liner here, right? So while that adds, right? So say shared preferences. What I want to try to do, instead of have everything everywhere, I'd rather just make a provider. I think it'd be better for me to make a provider for this. So let's create a root provider just for our shared preferences. Right, so I should share preferences. Then we should be good to go. Right, so instead of doing it here, I'll just go to the shared preferences, and then I'm kind of worried, right? So I think this is going to be async notifier. Right, so I'll call it the client, and it'll be shared preferences, the client, and then essentially what I have to do is that since this is an async notifier, I'll be able to initialize like so. Right, so it'll be shared preferences, trying to get that to import. Will be, just not right now. Right, and now this is going to have to be an async notifier provider. Auto dispose, make sure I got auto dispose of that. But now this needs to build. I think this is going to be essentially going to be a future. Now turn that to async. Right, so extends auto disclose async notifier. So there's that. Right, so basically what's going to happen, right, is that I'm going to say client equals await shared preferences. Okay, right, so essentially what I want to try to do here And then, right, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my getters and setters, right? So, or kind of look, I'm not too sure where I should put these. I'm going to put these right here. Save data, read data, and then kind of remove data. But these are going to be generic, right? So my client should already be ready. So client should already be ready. So I'm going to delete these. Right? They shouldn't have to be. Well, that's going to be these things done. So you return, and then replace these with the client. So save data, dynamic. So it'll say string is key. Normally just write this out all for you. Right, so that's what my setter is going to look like, right? So, so that's what my setter is going to look like, and essentially, right? This is kind of I'm just going to be using the methods of the provided value. I don't necessarily need, right? So, but what we're going to need here, I'm going to want to know like the values I kind of want, right? So these are going to be like my base methods, and then I'll just need. And then read user updated. And I wonder if I want the next functions or not, but since I have my generic ones, I could just wrap on top. data. And then the key is probably going to be value values. I'll probably just keep it simple. Songs. Alright, so there's that. Right, and then, you know, this is the logic I want to try to use, right? So user updated songs. So basically set it if release load. Right, so basically you want to check if we're in debug mode, where it's okay to run this. It's also okay if the user has updated the songs, right? But now to go grab that value. So let's try to see what that looks like. So now I'll go all the way to my build. I think I have to go in my build statement even. Right, so this is my build. So from here, I got it. Also grab another async notifier provider. So I think I should have access to ref, right? So I say ref dot watch. So I'm gonna probably say then share. And then I can probably just shared refs. Ref dot watch, and then it's kind of indicating that it might be undefined. It usually should be available. Alright, so this is kind of my logic here, you know, so it's not really a meaningful. Yeah, so yeah, I can't use a weight like this, but hopefully I could just await. Hopefully I can get my value the way I kind of need it here. So yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna get an error here. So here we kind of go here. So basically, in order to get this to work with the async notifier provider, right? Essentially, what we want to do, we want to read the notifier provider and then build, and then we're trying to get this value back, right? So I know I'm going to get a value back. I think itself is kind of, but all right, we're still getting this. So essentially, what I ended up doing was, I guess I just went and grabbed the value from build because I knew I could get the value, right? And now I kind of just checked, and then I kind of update this, right? So basically, right, if this is kind of the same, then try not to touch it, but if it's different, then you could go ahead, right? So that's basically the whole build, right? So if this is kind of like set to false, right, this will go ahead and execute, right? So we're going to see what it looks like when it gets set to true, right? So let's take the bb.dart. So this logic right here, this is the value, right? I'm going to try to use this logic in the add song, or when like a user like adds a song or like removes a song, right? That means that list got modified, right? No update feature as of yet, but you know that list kind of got modified. So we want that essentially. Let's go to the song to add, or we could go to song just to see, right? And then on subsequent updates, right? We should be able to. Let's try to say add for submit form. Say submit form. Then say await ref dot read, and then the provider is going to be the shared preferences provider dot notifier. And we may not need the notifier right away, but what we kind of do need is the value here, right? So I say that value dot I said that's true, and then it might be complaining, right? So the receiver might be null, right? So like stuff like this is unfortunate, but this would, it's okay if we go on the notifier. Won't be the worst thing in the world, right? So it looks like we're also going to need it there. So it's kind of, I want to try to keep things consistent. Okay, so I'll say notifier. I should be able to get that in the notifier. Right, but I think what I can essentially do, right, is I can just say, I think this is async, so we want to build. I don't necessarily want to do that. So and then I want to say share press. Saying it can't be referenced before it's declared. So I said this true. Right, here we go. Right, so there's that. So there's that logic, right? And then also in the minus, right? So it's in song tile. It's a long time coming since we've been in there, but and then that's going to be confirm delete, right? So confirm delete, and then you say yes. Then you also want to try to grab its actual value and make that update, and then try to go from there. Right, so let's try to see what that looks like, right? So basically, I'm gonna like delete out and make sure there's two, so that we can kind of see, right? And then that's how everything's gonna be. So basically, when I restart the app, I should get like two values, because now I set this value to true. So let's try to see what that looks like. Skip login. Oh, I get 5, so I gotta see what's going on. I gotta check a closer look at the value. Okay, I see here if TK is debug mode, it's automatically going to rewrite, but let's try to make sure that this kind of doesn't happen for us. So let's say 1, let's say 2, let's say 3, and then I'm going to reload, and let's see what happens. Our hard restart. And now, there it is, 2. So now that shared pref is working, so it knows not to overwrite what the user already has. So thanks for you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.